For centuries, we have been told a specific story about the Amazon rainforest. That it is a pristine, untouched wilderness, a green hell too hostile to support complex human civilization. We were told that before modern history, this massive jungle was inhabited only by small, scattered bands of hunter-gatherers. But modern science is proving that narrative completely wrong. Beneath the dense canopy hidden by centuries of aggressive overgrowth lies evidence of a radically different past. Thanks to advanced satellite imaging, LiDAR technology, and relentless archaeological digs, we are uncovering the remnants of massive, interconnected ancient civilizations. Millions of people once thrived here, reshaping the landscape, engineering the soil, and building structures that defy our conventional understanding of ancient history. Today, we are going to strip away the jungle canopy and examine the scientific evidence behind 6 of the most profound unsolved ancient mysteries of the Amazon rainforest. 1. The alchemical miracle of Terra Preta. If you want to build a thriving civilization, you need agriculture. And if you want agriculture, you need good soil. The Amazon rainforest is famous for its lush vegetation, but paradoxically, its natural soil called oxysol is notoriously acidic, toxic, and incredibly poor in nutrients. If you clear the trees and plant crops, the heavy rains wash away any remaining nutrients within a year or 2. So how did millions of ancient people survive here? They didn't find good soil, they invented it. Throughout the Amazon basin, scientists have discovered massive deposits of a completely artificial soil known as Terra Preta, or Amazonian dark earth. This soil is pitch black, incredibly rich, and up to 3 meters deep in some places. Carbon dating shows it was created between 450 BC and AD 950. Terra Preta is an ancient biochemical marvel. It is composed of a precise mixture of charcoal, biochar, bone, broken pottery, compost, and manure. But the true mystery isn't just the recipe. It's the fact that Terra Preta is essentially alive. It contains a highly active, self-replicating microbial community that continuously regenerates the soil's nutrients. Even today, thousands of years after the civilizations that created it vanished, Terra Preta remains highly fertile. Agricultural scientists and chemists are desperately trying to reverse engineer this ancient supersoil to solve modern global food crises, but we still cannot perfectly replicate the ancient Amazonian formula on a mass scale. 2. The geometric geoglyphs of Acre. In the late 20th century, as deforestation began clearing large tracts of the Amazon in the Brazilian state of Acre, aerial photography revealed something impossible. Etched into the earth were massive, perfectly symmetrical geometric shapes. Squares, circles, hexagons, and octagons. These are the Amazonian geoglyphs. To date, over 500 of these massive earthworks have been discovered, some spanning hundreds of meters across with trenches up to 4 meters deep. Radiocarbon dating of the soil reveals they were constructed between 0 and 1250 AD. What makes the geoglyphs baffling is their lack of practical utility. The trenches are on the inside of the walls, meaning they were not defensive military forts. There is very little evidence of long-term human habitation inside the chapes, no massive trash piles, no residential structures. Furthermore, the sheer mathematical precision required to lay out perfect octagons spanning hundreds of meters in the middle of a dense jungle is staggering. Were they astronomical observatories, sacred ceremonial sites, or part of an unknown water management system? The builders left no written records, and their true purpose remains buried in the earth. 3. The megaliths of Calaween. The Amazon Stonehenge. When we think of giant stone circles aligned with the stars, we think of Europe. But in 2006, deep in the state of Amap near the border of French Guiana, archaeologists officially documented the Calaween megaliths. This site consists of 127 massive granite blocks, some standing over 3 meters tall and weighing several tons, arranged in a precise circular pattern on a hilltop. Carbon dating of pottery shards found at the site indicates it was in use around 1,000 years ago. This is not a random collection of rocks. The Calaween megaliths are an incredibly precise astronomical observatory. The stones are specifically aligned with the path of the sun during the winter solstice. When the solstice arrives, the sun's rays shine directly through a specific hole in one of the central stones. The mystery lies in the logistics and the knowledge. How did an ancient Amazonian culture lacking beasts of burden or the wheel transport and erect these massive granite blocks? And more importantly, the sophisticated astronomical tracking required to build this observatory suggests a society with deep mathematical and cosmological knowledge, entirely overturning the idea that the ancient Amazonians were primitive forest dwellers. 4. Kuikugu and the lost garden cities of the Xingu. For decades, the legend of El Dorado and the lost city of Zed drove explorers mad. British explorer Percy Fawcett vanished in 1925 searching for a massive hidden city in the Mato Grosso region. Mainstream archaeology mocked him, insisting the jungle could never support a large city. Fawcett was right about the civilization, even if he was wrong about the city of gold. In the upper Xingu region, archaeologists utilizing satellite imagery and ground-penetrating radar have uncovered the remains of Kuikugu, a massive complex of interconnected ancient towns and villages that flourished from around 1,500 to 400 years ago. Kuikugu wasn't just a settlement, it was a marvel of ancient urban planning. The settlements were perfectly circular, connected by a highly structured grid of wide, straight roads, some up to 50 meters wide, that aligned precisely with the cardinal directions. They built massive defensive moats, palisades, and complex networks of bridges and canals. The greatest mystery of Kuikugu is its sustainable engineering. This society supported upwards of 50,000 people without destroying the rainforest. They practiced a highly advanced form of forest management, curating fruit-bearing trees and utilizing terra preta, essentially turning the wild jungle into a massive manicured garden. How this highly integrated, densely populated urban network functioned without a centralized, hierarchical state remains a highly debated topic among anthropologists today. 5. Pedra Pintada and the timeline shatter. For most of the 20th century, the scientific consensus on the peopling of the Americas was dominated by the Clovis first theory. It stated that the first humans arrived in North America around 13,000 years ago via the Bering Land Bridge and slowly migrated south, meaning the Amazon would have been one of the last places on Earth to be settled. Then in the 1990s, archaeologist Ana Roosevelt excavated a cave in the Brazilian Amazon called Caverna da Pedra Pintada, the Painted Rock Cave. What she found shattered the foundation of American archaeology. The cave contained deeply buried evidence of human habitation, stone tools, remnants of burned seeds, and bones of consumed animals. When rigorously radiocarbon dated, the lowest levels of human occupation clocked in at over 11,200 years old. This creates a massive geographical and temporal mystery. If humans were already thriving, foraging and creating rock art deep within the sweltering Amazon jungle 11,200 years ago, they could not have been the descendants of the Clovis hunters who were supposedly just arriving in North America at the exact same time. Pedra Pintada proves that ancient humans migrated faster, adapted to the extreme jungle environment quicker, and possessed far more sophisticated survival technologies than we ever gave them credit for. Where did they actually come from, and what routes did they take? The answers are still missing. 6. The boiling river of Shanai-Timpishka. Our final mystery blends geology with ancient indigenous lore. Hidden deep in the Peruvian Amazon is a river that defies the laws of nature, the Shanai-Timpishka. This is not a hot spring. It is a massive flowing river, roughly 4 miles long, where the water reaches temperatures up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, 93 degrees Celsius. It is literally boiling. Anything that falls in insects, frogs, even small mammals is boiled alive instantly. Geologically, boiling rivers exist, but they are always associated with active volcanoes. The nearest active volcano to Shanai-Timpishka is over 400 miles away. So where is the heat coming from?
Modern geologists theorize that the water is glacial melt from the Andes that seeps incredibly deep into the Earth's crust,
heats up via the Earth's geothermal gradient, and shoots back up through a massive undiscovered fault line. But this geological anomaly is tied deeply to ancient human history. For centuries, local shamans have guarded the river, claiming it is the spiritual heart of the jungle created by a giant serpent spirit named Yakumama. The indigenous knowledge of this river predates modern scientific mapping by centuries. The mystery remains in the deep subterranean plumbing. What massive geological fracture allows such a violent release of geothermal energy perfectly isolated in the middle of a dense sedimentary basin? The Amazon is not an empty wilderness. It is a massive, overgrown graveyard of highly advanced, scientifically capable civilizations that mastered their environment through chemistry, astronomy, and urban planning. The jungle consumed their cities, but science is finally bringing their brilliance back into the light.